I never thought I would have experienced this in my lifetime. I am a hard worker, extremely dependable, and respectful. Not sure how I could have lost a job like this, especially when I only just got it, and I didn't know I had it. So I work late, and just about every night, for the last few weeks, at least, I stop by Walmart to get something for dinner. I usually get off around midnight, and stop by on my way home. Every time I'm at Walmart, barely anyone is there, except for the night crew, stocking up the store and doing their own thing. Now, from what I have noticed, they don't have much of a uniform. Most of them are in hoodies or jackets, and they're of different colors. That's just to add some context. I show up late one night, and I'm wearing a hoodie. I began to walk up and down the aisles, trying to figure out what I'm gonna have for dinner. I'm thinking pasta, so I walk past a few guys in the pasta aisle, and they're loading the shelves. All of a sudden, I hear this guy yelling. His voice gets louder and louder. "Hey! Hey! Are you listening?" I turned to look to see what was going on, and this guy was approaching me. "You're late again? Don't think I haven't noticed you walking in the door at 12 a.m. I began to laugh, thinking this guy was joking around. Before I can say anything, he jumps on me. "You think this is funny? Your job must not be important to you. I want you to follow me to the office." Now I'm completely confused, and I start looking around, like I'm in some kind of hidden camera show. He starts to walk off, and I turn around and go back to shopping. He comes back a few minutes later and starts to yell. "You want to be fired? Because if you don't come with me now, I will fire you." I start to laugh harder. Then I ask him, "What's my name?" He gives me a puzzled look, so I asked him again. "What's my name? Do you even know who I am?" He looks at the other guys in the aisle, who at this point stopped stocking the shelves, and they're watching the event unfold. He then looks back at me, trying to figure out exactly what to say back. It looks like his head's about to explode. Good luck filing the paperwork to fire me when you don't even know my name. I continue to laugh at the whole stupid charade. I pick up some ingredients for spaghetti, trying to give this guy a clue. He storms off, and I look at the other guys in the aisle. I'm sure he's gonna figure it out eventually. I don't work here. They start laughing, and I go on. I can't believe that I lost a job I just found out I had, in the very same night. I'm still laughing about this occasion. I was in one of those bullseye stores, the ones with the red vests and shirts, and I was picking up a few office supplies. I managed 3 restaurants, and the office supplies were running low, and the supply truck wouldn't be there until the end of the month. So I gathered the items I needed, and I headed to the check lanes. I heard a banshee-like shrill screaming, "Hey, you!" I looked around at this lady, and she had this person who really did work there cornered, and this poor girl was on the verge of tears. "Yes, you, Mr. Manager. Come here and discipline your employee. She refused to help me, and she's been very rude, and she called me some very bad names." Now I've read enough of these stories of "I don't work here" post, and I always wonder why people don't do this, so I gave it a shot. Is this true? Were you rude to this lovely piece of humanity? Which made her kind of giggle. "No, I just told her I was on my way home. I just finished my shift. I said if she needed help, she could ask someone else, and they'd be happy to clock in and help her. When I told her this, she reached for me, so I backed off. I don't like strangers touching me, and I never insulted her." With a high-pitched shrill that would shatter crystal. "Liar! You called me all sorts of bad names. When I find my husband, I will have you fired if you don't do something about it." "Lady, I am the district manager. I'll ask you to calm down. If you don't, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave the store." "What? Well, I'm just very upset, you stupid It's been most distressful. In all my years, I have never been treated so horribly." "Ma'am, I'm sorry, but you aren't settling down. I'm going to have to ask you to excuse yourself from the premises, or you'll be escorted off by security." I pull out my phone and act like I'm calling security. But my husband!" "Go to the customer service desk and page your husband and tell him that you'll be waiting outside for him. You can wait until he's done with the shopping. Now leave the store immediately." I pretend that I'm talking to security on the phone. "Yes, we have an unruly customer here, and she needs to be escorted out of the store. Yes, I'll see you soon. Thank you." She throws the stuff that she has in her hands on the ground, screaming and yelling and threatening to sue and to have the store shut down. So I turned to the real employee. Are you okay? Yeah, I didn't know you were in the store, but I'm glad you were. I hope I'm not in trouble. I just worked a double shift, and I just want to go home. I'm extremely tired and hungry. Nah, you're not in trouble. I don't even work here. After about 2 seconds, it sinks in, and she begins to laugh uncontrollably. I told her that I manage a restaurant up the street, and she's welcome to come in and have a free meal on me. As I leave for the restaurant, I walk through the parking lot and I see the screaming Banshee customer sitting in a pickup truck on her cell phone. I could hear her muffled screams and crying, and I figured I'd better get out of there. The employee did come to the restaurant and thank me. I told her that the offer for a free meal was still good. She took me up on it, and she tipped the server really well, even though it was a free meal. We talked and laughed about the Banshee, and she laughed even harder when I told her about seeing her in the parking lot. I told her that this was definitely going to Reddit. She said that she loves those posts, and she's looking forward to see it. Hey Kate, if you're reading this, you are Reddit famous now. Maybe someone will turn this into a YouTube video. And yes, I will. Thank you very much. My niece is from Bavaria, and I'm from Baden-Württemberg. That's in the south of Germany. Her summer vacation started a whole week earlier than ours, so she came to visit my brother and her siblings. It was like in the morning, and we decided to take the doggo for a walk and go to the bakery on the other side of the street, close to a big school complex. I went in, and she stayed outside with the doggo. I came back out and she was gone. So, let's go ahead and introduce the protagonist, Principal Pissant. And then, you guessed it, me. Then my niece. I decided to call her on the cell phone, and this was the talk. Oh, thank God you're calling. And screaming in the background, how dare you talk on the phone when I'm talking to you? You are in enough trouble for skipping class. As I later found out, he ripped the phone out of her hands, and he must have hung it up. I realized what must have happened, and I went into the school to clear up the misunderstanding, and I went right away to the principal's office, hoping my niece would be there, or would soon be brought by a teacher. Outside, I can already hear him scream at her. Stop giving me a fake name and stop lying! You won't get out of here until I have the truth, and I promise you that you will be mentioned in our school certificate. We have grades for general behavior, and teacher can also write comments in there. It is something that employers care about if they're looking for apprenticeship or something. I don't bother knocking, I just went right in. Who are you, and how dare you just come in here without knocking? I'm this girl's uncle. What the do you think you're doing? She does not go to your school. Oh, I guess it was you who was on the phone. Nice try, but that will not help her trick her way out of this. I will get to the bottom of this, and I will only release her to her parents. Now get out of my office, or I will call the police and have you arrested for trespassing in the school. Schools are a protected place, so you get in way more trouble for trespassing than usual. I'll stay right here and protect my niece from your crazy ass. Calling the police sounds like a good idea. After all, you abducted my niece. So I did call the police, and just told the police that my niece was abducted, and to come to the principal's office ASAP. Do you really expect me to believe your fake phone call? He started screaming and shouting at my niece again, who was now in tears. Stop shouting at my niece! You will not address her until the police are here, and you will shut up! That is it! I am calling the police now. I'll have you arrested and finally find out her real name. So he called the police, only to find out I've already called the police. Suddenly, he was not so sure anymore, and you could tell the cogs in his head was finally starting to turn. About 5 minutes later, the police show up, and they actually talk to us separately. Here's roughly what my niece told the cops. She was waiting outside the bakery when Principal Pissant comes up to her, like a bat out of hell. He screamed at her that he's really fed up with people skipping school, especially the last week before vacation starts, and will make an example of her. Before she can get in a word edgewise, he grabs her by the arm really hard enough that she got a bad bruise for over a week. And that's what started to get him into real trouble. The cops also took her data and confirmed that she was from Bavaria. They then asked us if we wanted to press charges, and I told them to throw the book at them. Well, Principal Pissant heard the police say press charges and suddenly realized he was in real deep crap. So he came over. Hey, this is just a misunderstanding. You have to understand. We have to be strict with people skipping school. If you mean being strict by assaulting a 12-year-old girl so badly that you leave handprints on her arm and creating a huge bruise and abducting her from my care and wrongfully imprisoning her in your office while screaming at her and scaring the bejesus out of her, then no, I do not have to understand that. Please, you are completely blowing this out of proportion. I could get suspended without pay over this. I'll even lose my job. Good. Anybody who treats a scared 12-year-old girl like this needs to be, and they should never work with kids again. In the end, he really did lose his job, and I'm very glad he did. During the investigation, it turns out he was a sorry excuse for a teacher. He also always took the teacher's side no matter how wrong they were, and even slapped the kids on several occasions. He went to court for assault and attempted abducting, plus wrongful imprisonment, plus a few more bodily harms against students. He lost his job and his pension, got 2 years of probation, and 500 hours of community service, with the stipulation that it could be nothing that involves kids. He was also forbidden to ever work with kids again. Amen. So in the 90s, I rented a large workshop with my 2 friends. I was a woodworker and the other 2 were metal workers. So obviously none of us resembled the previous business in any way, which installed skylights. Cue the customer from the previous business. And here's a condensed conversation verbatim. It went on for a very long time. So she arrives at my door. She's a real Karen.
I need repairs done to my skylights you installed.
Sorry, that business has moved. I don't know where they are now.
No, I need you to send someone over now. The skylights are leaking.
As I said, that business is gone. We are a different company.
No, right now.
We repeat this half a dozen times. About now, I'm realizing that I'm dealing with a genuine loony or someone who's too entitled to listen to common sense. So I try another tact. Caveman speak. Who knows, it might work though.
Skylight business gone. New business come. You talk new business now. Understand?
Huh?
No skylight here. Try looking phone book. You bugger off now.
She leaves in a huff. It's all about communication, folks. Here's a little background. I'm a small Chinese woman living in a predominantly white neighborhood. Our house has a large front yard, and we like to do the gardening ourselves. I don't speak with an accent, and I usually use an English name for easy communication. I called for a free estimate from a local duct cleaning service, and I scheduled it for Saturday. My mom and I were in the front yard planting flowers and de-weeding, chatting family stuff in our own language, while enjoying the nice weather outside. We were in our full gardening gear, complete with straw hats, rain boots, and face mask. Then a white truck with a trailer drove up, and a middle-aged man jumps out. He weighs me down.
Hey, where's the owner of the house?
Pulling down my mask.
Oh, you must be the duct cleaning service. Please come with me.
Annoyed, he says.
No, I need to speak to the landlord.
I chuckle.
I am the landlord. Do you need to come into the house for a free
He cuts me off.
No, I need to speak to the person who made the call.
So I pull out my phone.
Okay, hold on.
I dial the company number. He pulls out his phone.
See? The landlord's calling.
I speak into the phone.
Hi, I'm the one with the English name. I'm standing right in front of you. I don't think I'm going to be needing your services today. Goodbye.
The guy stood there with a dumbstruck look on his face, then sulkily went back to his truck and left. My mom looked at me confused and asked in Chinese what that was about. I shrugged and answered,
Looks like we need to call another duct cleaning service.
Thank you all very much for joining me for this edition of I Don't Work Here Lady. I hope you guys enjoyed these. I'm really glad what happened to that principal. He was a real piece of work. Takes a real special person to be able to deal with children, and if you can't do it, don't get in the freaking business. Oh well, not my circus, not my monkeys. Thank you all very much, and I will be back soon with another compilation that I hope you guys will enjoy. Until then, just remember, Have fun with your failures, or they'll have fun with you.